A tutorial on how to create a Marcelo Monreal style edit using Pixlr.com on your computer. Okay, so I've gone to Pixlr.com. I'm going to click on Pixlr E Advanced Photo Editor. I've already saved some images previously, so I'm going to go to Open Image and I'm going to choose one of my portrait images and open that up. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is going to decide what part of the face I actually want to create sort of like this mask idea. I'm going to do half the face, I'm going to do the full face, it's up to you. I'm going to choose my lasso tool, lasso select, and I'm just going to drag and draw over the area that I would like to duplicate and cut out at the same time. Okay, so you can see I've selected the area. I'm going to press Control C, Control V. Okay, so that copies and pastes it. I'm going to then go to my Arrange tool or Move tool. Here at the top, the little arrow. I'm just going to move it slightly to the side. Okay, you can see there that it's made a new layer as well. And you can see that it's just that part of the face that's created. I'm now going to go back onto my background image because I want to create sort of like two sections of the face in a mask, like it's coming apart. And I'm going to drag over this side of the face here. Okay, same thing, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Go to my Move tool and move it slightly to the other side. Okay. This is sort of similar to what we did with the Kensuke Koik, but we're going up a level. We're adding some other images to it. Okay, so I'm happy with that so far. So you can see there, I've got my background image, I've got layer 2, which is the right hand side of the face, and layer 3, which is the left hand side of the face. Next thing I'm going to do is going to open up some flower images, and I want to remove the background from them. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Open Image. Okay, now I've got some different flower images here. I'm going to choose these purple flowers, and I'm going to go to this Magic Wand Select tool and click on the background, and then press Backspace or Delete on my keyboard, and that clears the background. I then want to copy this image onto my other image. So I'm going to go to my Marquee Select tool. I'm going to drag over the image, press Ctrl and C to copy, go onto my image of face, Ctrl and V to paste. Okay. Now at this point you might want to think about where you're going to place these flowers. Okay. So I'm going to decide that I'm going to put them up there. I might slightly rotate them. And what I'm also going to do, rather than having to do that whole process again, I'm going to duplicate this layer here. So I click on the little 3 dots at the side and choose to duplicate layer. Okay, so you can see there it's made a copy. And what I can do is I can move the copy. Okay, I can twist it around if I want. I can resize it. Just makes it a bit quicker. I might do that one more time. Duplicate layer, move it, maybe give it a little spin, make it a bit smaller, that one, just like so. I'm going to have it like that. Okay, I'm going to do that again with another image. So I'm going to open my image, I'm going to choose these flowers this time, use my Magic Wand Select tool, click on the background, backspace to clear. You can see here there's a little bit of white background that's still there. So if I click in that white background, it selects that area and I can press backspace to delete it. Go to my Marquee Select tool, drag over the image, Control C, which will copy it, go back onto my portrait, Control V, which pastes it. I want to change the size of it because it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go to my Move tool. I'm going to move over here, but I'm also going to increase the size and rotate it slightly. Now it's at this point that you might decide that you want maybe these flowers to slightly go behind your other ones, in which case you would change the order of the layers. So you can see there that's just slightly gone behind those flowers there. Okay, so you can change the order. I'm going to duplicate this layer again because I quite like them flowers, and I'm going to put some up here. Okay, now I'm going to do one more flower, so I'm going to File, Open, and choose this one. Magic Wand tool to select the background. Okay, so at this point we've got a selection that is not correct. So I'm going to press Ctrl and D. I'm going to try that again. Okay, you can see there it's not done it correctly. Okay, so I might actually just get rid of that flower and not use it at all. It'll just make it a little bit easier. So I'll choose a different flower image. File, Open Image. Okay, I've got some other ones here. I've got some from roses. Magic Wand tool, much better. Okay, delete or backspace to delete that area. I'm going to once again try and get rid of these little areas in here. There we go, get rid of the little white areas. Don't make it too distracting. Use my marquee tool, select the image by dragging over it, edit copy, back into my portrait, edit, paste. Okay, now that hasn't worked. Why hasn't it worked? Because I tried to do it through these options at the top. Remember, you've got to use your keyboard. So Control C to copy, back onto our image, Control V to paste. Perfect, there it is. Go to my move tool, okay, and I can resize it. Okay, I might do it there. I might decide that actually I'd like it to go slightly behind one of these images. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to duplicate that and move the little duplicates up here like so. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that arrangement. Now the only thing is you can't see them two sections of the face, which is really what the effect that you want. So if we scroll back down in our layers area, I can see that there's my two layers here. And just as if you've done with the flowers, you've been arranging the layers to show which ones are at the front and which ones are behind, I can then drag my face layers up to the top, so they will go on top of all of the flower images. Okay, right to the top, like so. You might want to have, maybe it's slightly behind one of them. We can try it like that. I'm going to get the other part of the face now and do the same thing. So I'm dragging it up to the top so it's in front of the other layers. Now I quite like that. That's worked quite well. Now, one of the last things you can do to create sort of like that effect that those parts of the face are coming apart and are off the flowers is use a drop shadow. So if I click on the layer here of the left-hand side of the face, okay, go to Filter and Drop Shadow. Okay, now you can see there it's created a little drop shadow, but I maybe want to drag that out slightly more. So my offset X is going to go wider. I might increase the opacity just to make it a bit darker and also increase the blur. There we go, that's a better effect. Okay, so you can play around until you get with something that you like. I quite like that. I'm going to do the same thing on my other half of my face. So select the layer, filter, drop shadow. You can see here that the shadow has gone to the right hand side. So I'm going to drag my offset X to the other way because I want it to go that way. I'm going to increase my opacity and I'm also going to increase the blur until I get an effect that I like. Now I quite like that. And there is your finished product, okay? After you've done this, let's save it. File, save. Okay, I'm going to call it Marcelo Edit 1. If you've not looked at Marcelo Monreal's work, you might want to just for a bit of inspiration. I'm going to download it. So that is now saved into my computer. Okay, now what you can do now, because you're still on Pixlr, is we can flatten our layers. So by clicking on the three little dots and then flatten image. Okay, make sure you do the layer at the top. So you can see there it's made it into one background image, and then I can want to go into my filter, go into my effects library and try out some different effects. Okay, I could play around with the colors and see if I can get some effects that I quite like. Oh, that's quite interesting with the purples. Press apply, and then I would file and save that again. Let's call this Marcelo 2. Make sure it's a JPEG and download. Once again, that's saved to your computer. I'm going to close that. And what I want to do is I want to go back because I don't want to add an effect onto that image. So I'm going to go edit, undo, and then try something else. Filter, effects. Might have a look at the artsy one, see if there's anything in there that takes my fancy. I think the answer is going to be no. So I'm going to press back, go to old. Okay, I quite like these ones. Yeah, I quite like that one. So I'd press apply, file, save. Marcelo 3 and download. Okay, and you would do that, I would say try and experiment with it 4 or 5 times until you have got sort of like a nice range of edits and one that you think, yeah, that's going to be my final piece. Okay, so that is your Marcelo Monreal tutorial. Good luck, try out some different things, look at his work as well. It'll really help inspire you. Okay.